All right, so let's rank these boys. First, let's go through. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna give you a rundown of the different tiers that we have made for our ranking. So, down at the bottom of the list, the worst that you can be is a bucket of dirty waffle water, sitting in the little kitchen alcove, getting waffles dumped into you. Nasty, disgusting. So that's just like trash. Absolute trash. You're the worst.
Yeah.
Minimally above that, our D tier is a tomato waffle, because you shouldn't exist. You
absolutely should not.
It shouldn't be a thing. We don't put tomatoes on waffles. It's not right. It's not... Kind of like our just below the middle of the road, which would be our C tier, is ice cream and Coca-Cola. Which, if you remember, back when we were at Han Gyul's apartment, this was quite the controversy for Jaren.
If you eat the ice cream, you can't taste the Coke. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
So this is kind of like middle of the road, because it truly affected Jaren heavily. However, it did not affect me at all. So, like, maybe some people hate you. Maybe some people are fine with you. Overall, you're not really doing that much. Like, you're fine. You're fine, okay? You're fine. Our B tier is Han Gyul's weird shirt. For a similar reason, because this affected Kara very much, but it didn't affect Jaren. However, it is above ice cream and Coca-Cola because Han Gyul still looked super fine. So
it still looked edible. Yeah.
Han Gyul was looking good. He was working the weird shirt, even though the shirt was very strange. It's fine. Now, up into our A tier, we're getting into our real good characters. A tier is, you get the big spoon.
Could it be the big spoon?
Oh, that's right. You're eating kimchi fried rice with your new boss and potential future boyfriend, and you get to have the big ladle, and he gets the regular size spoon. Because you're good, and we want you to have the big spoon.
Because you are good.
And up at the top of our list, truly the best that we can wish for you is go live your barista dreams. Go off to Italy. Go study with the pros. Go have a good time and live your passions. We only want the best for you because you are just the best that we can be. So, let's get into it. Any particular character you would like to start with, Jaren? Should we go down the list, or is there anyone you have strong ranking feelings?
Let's just go in order.
All right. So first off, we've got our title friend, Un-chan.
Now, I don't think I'm going to be controversial by saying we want Un-chan to go live her barista dreams.
100%. Un-chan, if she's not living her barista dreams, there's no point. Just overall good fun. We love her.
A character worth making a show about, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you, Un-chan, for all that you do. We hope you're having fun in Italy. We know that you came back at the end of the show, but...
Ciao.
Ciao. All right, next up we've got our title boy. That would be a Han Gyul.
Boy, this might be controversial. I'm going to put Han Gyul in Han Gyul's weird shirt. Not just because it's his shirt, but because there were a lot of times where his emotional immaturity really kind of overshadowed the fact that he was the male lead.
Okay. Yeah, that's a completely fair point. I feel like my gut instinct was you get the big spoon just because I love this couple a lot. But I think you're right. When we separate the two of them, even though they both made some goofs, they both did some moves that were maybe not too good. At the end of the day, Han Gyul, he did his best, but he wore that weird shirt and he acted like a baby a little too much. So
a little too much, like one too many babies.
one too many babies. So he can sit down here in Han Gyul's weird shirt.
Sit down.
All right, Jared. Next, we've got your absolute favorite character of the entire show, which is Han Sung.
God, this is. See, I'm questioning whether to put him on the level of Han Gyul or if he, by nature of their relationship, has to be one below in ice cream and Coke.
Ooh, that's a good point. I feel like even though we ragged on him the entire series, I don't think that he's like tomato waffle or like bucket of dirty waffle water level. Like I think his redemption arc kind of helps him out.
His redemption arc was so interesting to me in that like it's not like something happens to him that redeems him. It's that the point that he starts the show at is retroactively justified. And then still going on his actions from there, I feel like he's big ice cream and Coke energy. Yeah,
I agree. I think that when you kind of put it all together, he levels out to a nice little ice cream and Coca-Cola moment here.
Little cold bath for Han Sung here in the tier list.
All right. Well, next up we've got his beloved Yuju, the girl of his dreams. That we had lots of issues with this couple, didn't we?
Me especially. I started out thinking Yuju was going to be the character who was like, this is the model for adult maturity, and then with Han Sung's retroactive backstory explanation, you kind of find out that like it's not as equal as we're led to believe at the start. And just like the old woman who destroys their relationship with her biting sarcasm, I think they deserve each other. So I feel like they both have to be in the C tier, which feels bad because I really like Yuju.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I feel like where Han Sung kind of had this like very, very slow start that got exponentially better in the end, Yuju had more of kind of like she started out and it seemed like, oh yeah, this character, great. And throughout the series she was pretty great, but I think her lows kind of even her out. And they do deserve each other, so...
It feels like they meet in the middle.
They can hang out together with a little date where they eat ice cream and drink Coca-Cola and have fun.
Yeah, make silly faces and put little boots on their fingers.
Yes. All right, next up, I have a strong feeling as to where this man is going to go, but it is Mr. Hong, Jaren.
You know I want to send him to Italy.
All the way up. All the way up.
Mr. Hong is... I don't want to say the character that really made me interested in the show, but it's a type of character that you almost never get to see, which is this kind of like dirty old man trope that's also inverted to be like, no, I have a rich and beautiful inner life, and I have come to terms with the world around me in a way that is inspiring. The great takeaways that I have from Coffee Prince are the two phrases which get repeated a lot, which are, no matter what happens, is this someone you can live without? And that's something that I think about pretty often now, that I definitely is a direct quote from Mr. Hong.
Thank you, Mr. Hong.
Thank you for your service.
For all that you do. All right. Next up, it's our boy. It's CB.
Ooh, he would be S tier. But
I can see where you're going.
Yeah. The strange, like, obsession with Unsei that goes a little dark sometimes when he's, like, orchestrating the Ha-Rim and Sung-gi go assault her in the park, basically. That means you get at least -1 tier. So I think he gets the big spoon.
He, as much as we talk about how much he was, like, just truly one of the top characters for us, I agree. He makes some big slippies, and those big slippies knock him down, but he still gets the big spoon.
The character I would most want to be friends with, I think.
All right, up next, it's our interior designer boy, who that track record only gets mentioned very few times, even though it's how he's introduced into the series. It's Ha-Rim.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Tomato waffle.
Yeah.
You're with me on this.
As much as I love the energy that Ha-Rim brings to the show sometimes, there's no other place for him to go.
He has the great moment where he's like, listen, I'm a part of this secret that I did not agree to keep, and it's affecting somebody who I care about. I'm going to tell Hong-Gyul. And the rest of it is him being weird about them being in a relationship that might be gay, weird about being them in a straight relationship, weird about being in his own relationship, being kind of a pickup artist kind of character. Can't save it.
Yeah. All right. Have fun with your tomato waffle, Ha-Rim. Next up, it's our hot waffle boy, and that would be no other than Seung-gi.
All right. I feel like the correct choice is A tier, but I'm going to argue that because he has undoubtedly the least screen time dedicated to his B plot, I feel like he should get an S tier nomination just for the amount that they were able to squeeze out of 3 minutes every other episode.
This is a fair argument. I think the reason that I would say he stays in A tier would be because even though he doesn't have a lot of screen time and you get so much out of so little screen time, I would still say that, I don't know, Un-chan gets the most screen time, obviously, because she's, like, our main character. But she, again, is a character that feels deserving of an entire show, whereas Seung-gi's subplot, I don't know if I could watch an entire show about that.
You're right.
I feel like it's best placed as this, like, subplot that we only hear about sometimes, because it feels like that was the most effective way to do that story. And I love him very much. He's a very attractive man. However, I think the A tier is here not because he does anything wrong, but because it doesn't feel right to put him with like Un-chan and Mr. Hong, who I feel like were so influential for this show. You know what I mean? You're right.
Looking at the two of them up there, he doesn't fit in.
He still gets the big spoon though. All right. Next up, we've got our favorite money gremlin. It's Un-se.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Am I really gonna do it to her? Am I really gonna put her?
Are you gonna put her in the bucket of dirty waffle water?
Yeah. That's my first inclination.
Okay. I am advocating for Un-se at minimum tomato waffle, truly because of the entertainment value she brings to Coffee Prince.
You're right. I mean,
yeah.
When I think about Un-se, the three things that jump to mind: failed American Idol audition, money gremlin, weird relationship with CB. Also, maybe has strange emotions around her sister having a great opportunity in her life. But she's 17, so I feel like tomato waffle is the worst we could do.
Also, she can't be all the way in the bucket of dirty waffle water because at the end we do see her and CB kind of figuring their stuff out, and she's now being like a supportive force in his life as he achieves his back model dreams.
I did not consider the epilogue.
Yeah, she did grow, and she is young throughout the series. However, some of her silly antics do still land her in tomato waffle land. But maybe if there's a sequel, she can be up here with the big spoon.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Un-chan's mama. Mama Chan.
See, I would watch a prequel show about three older characters.
I would too.
I don't know whether I can give Mama the big spoon.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to put her in the weird shirt?
Yeah, I want to put her in a weird shirt. These tierless names.
She can wear a weird shirt. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know a lot about her as a character, and I don't know. Like, it feels like she is a mother character, but she is not a character who happens to be a mother.
It's hard to put her super high up when we feel like we have limited information about her. I get what you mean. All right, she can wear a weird shirt with her new son-in-law. And it'll
My
be great.
new son?
Now, next up, we have the completion of the old friend trio, and that is Mr. Koo.
So, similar feelings about Mama as Mr. Koo.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mr. Koo gets the big spoon because he is a poet, and...
Wow.
He dresses really fly when they go to the movie
that
theater.
Outfit he wore bumps him up at least one tier.
He's a very earnest character, and he ends up demonstrating like good emotional intelligence when he's like, "Look, I'm not gonna marry your mom or anything, but like if you think about it, you're not losing a mother, you're gaining a new family member." And I was like, that's very wise.
Yeah, that was good. That was a very good thing. Thank you, Mr. Koo.
Thank you for your service.
All right. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Next up, you know her, you love her. It's Grandma.
She would berate us for giving her anything less than S tier.
She would, however, as much as I want to give her S tier, her sudden turn on Un-chan in like, what is it, like episodes 12 through, or maybe 13 is this, I don't know when it starts, but like that rubs me the wrong way. I can't put her up in S tier when she's gonna be like that.
You're right. Give her the spoon.
You give her the spoon. All right. Next up, we have Han-gil's dad throughout most of the series, though not his OG dad.
I feel like I would give that Han-gil's weird shirt because it really feels like without him being the focus or without seeing his point of view, he goes through a real character change and is very much gone from like, no, you have to have a marriage that's good for the family, to I have let people make decisions for me that negatively impacted the course of my life, and I will not allow my son to do the same, basically.
That's true. I feel like kind of similar to reasons for Seung-gi, for him getting a higher ranking despite maybe difficult impressions initially, even though that wasn't Seung-gi at all. But he had very little screen time, but throughout that screen time, we got to see such an interesting development of his character. So he can wear the weird shirt with his son, and
it was told very well through visuals as well, with the times when they are sitting across from each other, Han-gil and his non-biological dad, to the time when they are standing next to each other in the elevator and you see how much taller Han-gil actually is. Like that was a great way of communicating that growth. Good
job, Dad.
You did it.
All right, next up, Han-gil's mom. Where could she go?
Is this cruel if I say that, like,
where
she is okay? Maybe bucket of dirty waffle water.
Are you're putting her in the why? Okay, no, explain why is she in the bucket?
Yeah, she is, in terms of a character, entirely passive up until the point where she decides to support Un-chan, which is already a decision that has been made by everybody else. I think if maybe she were the first person to be like, no, like, I am not just standing here. I've seen what this kind of attitude has done to my husband. If my son wants to marry this girl, it does not matter what kind of girl she is. But it feels like things just kind of happen to her, and she's a very, like, tragic figure in this story. But it's not a story that was meant to highlight her. And so she comes off as this character who is there.
Yeah. I now that you've explained it, I see where you're coming from, because she's a very passive character. She is just kind of there. It's hard for me to put her in the bucket because of, we do get some scenes with her and Han-gil that are like, just give this very sweet mother-son energy, but I feel like someone's got to go in the bucket, and if it's gonna be her.
We scooped this woman into a bucket.
and not for any of her, like, personality traits, I guess, because she is sweet and stuff, and she does do some good things, but mostly because she does just kind of let the world happen to her, which is kind of her role in this show, is to do so. But that'll land you in the bucket. Maybe if they make a sequel and she starts being cool, she can get out of the bucket. But
coffee
for now, coffee aunt. Oh my god. All right, next up we've got Hangul's real dad.
Now I'm wishing we'd saved the first person to bucket, because he's definitely bucket.
He's absolutely... You know what? I'm going to put him in bucket because he deserves the bucket. I'm going to put him in bucket
in front of Mama.
Ooh. Like a little slide around. Like, he's the most bucket of the bucket.
He's proximity to bucket.
Do you think maybe if he's bucket, does that kind of make Mom tomato waffle, or is she still bucket?
We can make Mom tomato waffle, because...
All right.
Like...
I know we spooked you there, Mom, but you're now tomato waffle.
Yeah, nobody has to sit in the waffle water with Lee Myung-jae.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, now that he's out here, I've got better context, and I can say that, Mama, you're not quite bucket level.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up... You know him, the first member of the DK crew. If you know the words, you can join in too. Put your hands together. And up your ass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Donkey Kong. He's finally joining the battle. And where could he go?
Yeah, honestly, I think he's on the level of Seung-gi because...
Really?
Very similar. He's a character that we hear so much about from very strong perspectives, and then when we see him in action, he's just a mature adult. And that is not something that is in this show except for him. Because when he's invited to sit down with Han Sung and Yoo-ju, and she's like, "Oh, you remember this coffee place," and blah, blah, blah. He quickly picks up and he's like, "Hey, did you bring me here just to torture this guy? Because that is no good." And then he leaves. And then at the airport, he's like, "Hey, you ready to go?" And she's like, And he's like, "I'm going." And then she's like, And he's like, "All right, bye." It's like, he was somebody who knew what he wanted and wasn't inappropriate about pursuing it.
These are all very good points. I think he gets knocked down one tier, though, to Hangul's weird shirt, solely for the fact that he dresses like the biggest asshole you've ever seen.
Alright, that is a good argument for subtracting a point. My argument for adding a point is that he gave us the Donkey Kong jokes.
Alright, you're right. You know what, DK? You get the big spoon. It's for you. Have fun in your adult life.
It's an honor, sir.
It's been an honor, sir. All right, next up, someone who I think we kind of can feel where she might go, because she's got a counterpart that's basically her, but in male form. Everyone, this is Bill.
Bill was a very interesting late-stage addition to this ensemble cast.
She was.
Like, and I love the thing of, like, this character has met their match. So I absolutely feel like she belongs with Tomato Waffle Haru.
Yeah, she's got to be with him. They have to be together. There's no other way for this to go.
They deserve each other, for sure.
For sure. All right. Next up, this character only gets one episode of screen time. However, she is mentioned enough in the series that I felt she was important enough to include, because this is Mr. Hong's ex-girlfriend.
Ooh, shit, baby.
I know.
This is such an interesting pick to include on the tier list, honestly. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
Because I've never wrestled with the reality of, like, her end. Because, like, I feel like her character is kind of defined by where she ends up, the same way that Hong's character is kind of defined by where he's ended up.
Yeah.
And there's so much that we don't know about that relationship, but I have so many feelings about it, you know? Like,
Does she go in the bucket?
It depends on whether or not you think that she's happy where she ends up, or if she's unhappy. Because the vibe that I got was that she was unhappy, and she had, like, this husband who wanted to eat peaches even though she was allergic, so she had to wear gloves to cut them. But that could very easily be interpreted as she loves her husband, so now she's the kind of person who wears gloves. I think we could just split the difference and put her in Ice Cream and Coke, maybe?
Wow. Look at her, hanging out with Han Sung and Yoo-ju. Ice Cream and Coca-Cola. Yeah, I feel like I interpreted that scene as her saying, like, I, as a person, have changed now, and I found someone who I love so much that I'm willing to sacrifice small things for. Even though I feel like touching something that you're allergic to isn't really a small thing. Tell your husband to cut his own goddamn peaches. But
Exactly.
that was kind of the message that I got. So she can hang out in the difficult relationship tier, which is ice cream and Coca-Cola, apparently. All right, next up we have another very late stage addition. This is our new coffee girl who shows up at Coffee Prince in like the last episode and declares that she wants to learn from Mr. Hong because she hears he's the best barista in town.
I don't really know how to feel because of how little screen time, but the attitude was very good.
Yes.
I love a character who's just like, I heard you're the best at this. Teach me right now.
Yeah. Also, she makes Sungi happy.
Very true.
She can wear the weird shirt. She can hang out with Sungi in the coffee alcove and wear the weird shirt and speak Japanese. Good for her.
I pictured the Hungil's weird shirt is just like this get-along shirt that's like massive and they all four have to wear it.
Yeah. It's one and everyone has to get in. All right, our final three characters are some very important ones that I think we all have good opinions of. So let's start with none other than our favorite boy. It's Sweeper, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, glad he made the list.
And you know where he's going.
I don't even have the power to stop it. It's right to the top.
It's almost as if he's going to live his barista dreams in Italy.
Sweeper was such a blessing, even in terms of like making this podcast, because we had a character who we had to root against unconditionally, and he was always accompanied by the character that you have to root for unconditionally, and it made for some really good jokes.
It was so good.
I think one of my favorite jokes of the entire series is in one of the middle episodes. We were like, all right, and we cut to Unchan drinking with a dog, and Sweeper's also there.
Get his ass.
Very good.
All right, next up we have our favorite small Lego boy. It's Robo Unchan.
You know, I just feel like they never did anything with this character.
I know! This character could have been so much if they hadn't neglected her.
It does have Little Blanky.
That's true.
Little Blanky is very good.
Little Blanky is nice. Do you think we can give Robo... Ooh, no, say what you're going to say.
I was like, who needs a Robo Unchan in their life? I feel like...
Who does need a Robo Unchan?
I don't know. It's just we never learn anything about their character. They're very passive, you know. They just kind of get moved around.
Yeah, they do just hang out there.
I'm going to say tomato waffle.
All right. You know what, Robo Unchan? I'm sorry to do it to you, but you can hang out with the tomato waffle. All right, and last but not least, perhaps the most shocking character that we could have had in this entire series. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Gingy.
Fuck off.
Yeah, bucket of dirty waffle water for Gingy. Because...
No!
Oh, you were saying that to me. All right, fair enough.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
Listen. Here's my argument for bucket of dirty waffle water, Gingy. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
He shows up. Kind of just to let us know that Shrek the Third is canonically part of the Coffee Prince universe, you know? He shows up, he's on the big screen. But who was watching that big screen, Jaren? That would be a Hangul and a Yuju moment. Would it not?
Yes.
This scene would preface the scene where Hangul is like, Yuju, I need you to give me a hug because I'm trying to decide if I'm not gay or something. And I just feel like, you know what, Gingy? Like, you could have had something there. You could have had a moment. There could have been a great moment where you talk to Hangul through the movie and you say, listen, buddy, if you're gay, you're gay, okay? That's the way the world works. And if you're not, you're not. And if you're bi, there you go. What I need you to do is stop treating your employee like trash because of your feelings for her, okay? Okay? But he didn't.
Can you do that?
He just yelled about his gumdrop buttons and he left. Like, what was the point?
You're very valid.
Thank you.
I can't get over the fact that, like, he was seeing projections of Un-chan on the screen, but what he was looking at was Jinji, and Hangul was just giggling like a baby.
You know what? You're right. Jinji, disregard everything I said. You can go live your barista dreams.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! All right, that's all of the characters we have. So this is our final Coffee Prince character tier list. I hope you all agree. If you don't agree, you can yell at us in the comments below. Please do. I love getting yelled at about my opinions. So I really want you guys to do it. So.
Wow. I'm soft. Please don't tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, yeah, you tell Jaren that you love him and that he's right, and then tell me that I'm dirty bucket of waffle water because I tried to put Jinji in the bucket, even though he doesn't deserve it at all. I just wanted to create a little controversy.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with where you think we would be ranked. Personally, I think I'm an ice cream and Coke kind of guy.
I think, you know what? I'll be nice to myself, and I will say that I'm wearing Hangul's weird shirt.
Nah, Kara gets the big spoon.
Stop. All right, that concludes the tier list section of this episode.